bienvenidos, ¿verdad? Gracias por estar aquí a la ceremonia de Laure, nuestra hermana, ¿verdad? Que en paz descanse. Y voy a decir un poquito de qué es prensa pobre. The Poor Magazine is basically us, you know, people from struggle, people who come from poverty, people who come from nothing, and people who had dreams of building this, you know. I want to also call the name of Laure, that without her, what you see back in your espaldas and behind you is a dream that she had been helping for the last 11 years to become a reality. And she really, you know, she really helped us to get here, to be where we at. And I know she also touched the many lives of many people, you know. And I mean, I don't think I have to say much about her because each of us had the experience to relate to her, to be part of her life, to walk with her. And I just want to say that she's gonna be missed. And she was Poor Magazine. She was Homefulness. And you know, if it wasn't for Queen Ande, if it wasn't for Vivian, if it wasn't for my sister Tiny, if it wasn't for Auntie Frances, if it wasn't for Laure, none of this will ever be happening. None of this will never become a reality. So I just want to call her name, and also to, you know, one of the things that Laure always said, if it wasn't for Leroy, reminding us that this is the time that we even have to push harder, because she believed in what we were doing, and she wanted to see the fruits of it, and she wanted to see to be done, you know. So even more, you know, in her memory, we must even push harder, you know. And we are people, we're Poor Magazine, we're those people that this system tells us that we're not capable of doing nothing, right? We're the so-called clients, we're the so-called nobodies, but these nobodies had a dream, and you guys are standing on it. And it was thank you to Laure, to all of my comrades and sisters and brothers who are here, our ancestors, our elders who have been supporting this, that this has become a reality. And what's Poor Magazine? Each of you guys is Poor Magazine. Each of these little chihuahuitas is Poor Magazine. I want to say that it's a beautiful thing that when I seen these chihuahuas, so many chihuahuas gathering today, I knew Laure was in the house. Thank you, Laure.
So just a real quick hit about what's going to happen today, so people know it's not just going to be us talking. Basically, we're going to say a little bit about what Homefulness is, and the Stolen Land Tour, KEXU, just so people know the work that Laure was doing and working so hard. Then we're going to hear from our sister Karina, who's going to start us in a good way with First Nations prayer, because that's how we move. First honoring Mother Earth and ancestors. Then we're going to go to an Ifa prayer, thanks to Sochi and Sauda, who are here in the house, and that's such a beautiful thing, as honoring Laure, and she was moving back into into the culture that the colonizers stole from her. Then we're going to do dansa. Then we're going to actually lift up Laure in love and chocolate and food, because we all know Laure loved chocolate, and she loved to eat well too. And so we're gonna actually not make all y'all wait till the very end to eat. We're gonna eat in her honor, and while we're eating, we're gonna actually open it up to have an open mic. And so those of us who have poems, who have prayers, who have songs, I hear we're going to have a praise dance. We're going to have a beautiful song from our sister, yeah, and then we're going to end with a tree planting in her honor, because this, as you may or may not know, is the Ancestor Forest. It has Torian Jajar Hughes, it has Jan Cislavsky, it has Luis Dimitri Gungara Pat, it has Khaled Rashad Shakur, and it has our sister's name, who is escaping me, but Queen Nande's sister. It has many ancestors. Eric, it has many ancestors in here. And so Lori is joining a powerful legacy, joining Mother Earth. And we also are so blessed to have Vern and her family from LA in the audience, and her friends, and all the folks who are here who knew Lori, and it just shows how deep her touch was. I also want to shout out to Debbie, who's here. Thank you. To Al Osorio, to Michelle, to Bruce, to other Poor Magazine family are here, without whom there'd be no us. So just quickly from Mama Nandi, what is homefulness?
Homefulness, everybody, is a solution to homelessness. Pretty much that's what it is. It's just more on a self-determination model, that we don't, go down here and vote for whoever say they're gonna give us the best housing or any kind of housing, or no. It's us. Homefulness is the people saying, you know what, we tired of sitting up here filling out your 787-page lease booklet applications. We're sick of being denied because, oh, well, you did graffiti on a 22 bus in 1985. Man, Adidas was out and Run DMC was popular. Of course they love Run DMC. But you can't get no housing because there's always some kind of system that's set up to fail you before you even have a chance. And so that's all what homefulness is. Okay, you don't want to educate our children. Well, you want to continue to keep miseducating our children. We will educate our children ourselves. That's what homefulness is all about. You don't want to walk our elders down the street and take care of our elders. We take care of our own elders because we are conscious enough to know if it wasn't for our elders, it wouldn't be no us. That's where we get all that good game from the elders that got the good game. It's all about a self-determined model that the whole world need to be practicing around. The whole world. I believe nobody, Poor Magazine believe nobody should be out houseless, hungry, unloved, beat down, discriminated against, because you want basic human needs. Is you have that right. That's what's wrong with the world. Because there's too much hate and tyranny and greed and materialism. Let me tell you something about that materialism. I don't know all that. I made $1 million this week. I need to make $1 million next week or whatever. You can make all the money you want. You ain't gonna never in your life, not in this lifetime, see a U-Haul behind a hearse. But now you have people, real people are out here dying because of that kind of greed and that kind of materialism and this capitalism. People are out here dying. And that's what Lori was all about. We was warriors. She laced up them boots, honey. We finna go stomp out those oppressors. She didn't hesitate. She didn't hesitate. Me and my sister sit in the car and we'll talk about how we don't like the world to suffer. I may be a little more aggressive when it comes to the world making the world suffer, but Lori had that humbleness and that calm to her. And that's what's going to be deeply missed, that intellect, that beauty, and that calm, and that ability to be able to put on them boots. She kept them boots on all the time. That wasn't because she looked good in them. Because she full aware. We going up in this full-fledged. We stomping out every day. I don't like to see nobody suffer. She was right there. We don't like to see nobody suffer. Not even the itty-bitty little puppy dogs. That's why we got them all over the place. And we love animals, too. They feel pain too. They feel sorrow too. And they also tell you when a tsunami finna hit. So if the animals say get the hell up and go. So I'm gonna pass this on to my brother Leroy right now. Now see, we gonna keep that between that though. Leroy, I know how Lori felt about it. Lori love how Leroy. But we gonna send it to Leroy right now. He got some good words to say about our sister and our Shay. And we got to keep this going. We got to keep this going because ain't none of us going out in vain. That's right. All right? So peace to everybody. Peace and love to everybody. Peace.
I'll keep it short. When I came to Poor Magazine in the 90s, Lori was there. Lori was on the floor with the kids building homefulness at a milk carton, So Lori was there from the beginning. And that's how, you know, she's connected to homelessness, is that she wanted to be out from living on the grid, living from paycheck to paycheck and having a roof that you don't have to tell, you know, social workers or Section 8 workers when to do your annual report. You know, so Lori was there from the beginning, and she's still here. So let's get busy and let's build this house, build these homes, and build homelessness.
Yes. I want to share with you a courageous walk of faith, a courageous walk of our pure arrogance on Stolen Land Tour. We had the nerve, the group of us, had the nerve to march, peacefully march into the neighborhoods of the rich and famous and knock on the door, offering them medicine to heal them of their greed, of the stolen wealth, of the stolen land, of the stolen resources. I was blessed many, many times to walk and march alongside with Lori. You see, whenever you talk about poor, whenever you talk about the Colonized Academy, whenever you talk about homefulness, you think about Lori. And so I was honored to walk alongside her, with her many times, walking up to those strange doors, knocking on those doors. Now, out of 100 people, maybe 2 people might get a clue. But as you can see behind you, this is the main result from us knocking on those doors with the truth, representing the Native Americans, representing the black and brown, offering them medicine to heal themselves of the greed. So yes, we've been to Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Santa Barbara. Many doors have been slammed in our face, but as you can see right behind you, this is the result. And I want to give it up to our Solidarity family. So stay, if you don't know anything about the Stolen Land Tour, just stay connected. And we'll have, the next one is October 19th. Thank you.
No one owns Mama Earth. Can I get a witness? No one owns Mama Earth. Yeah, we are the poverty scholars. That houseless mama, that houseless daughter. We're all the people you don't want to see, never want to be. Look away from me. What you gonna do? Arrest me? We're in your city. So I just do a snatch of that slam bio just to let you all know that when we do the Stolen Land Hoarded Resources Tour that my sister Francis is talking about, it's because there is a lie being perpetrated that people own Mother Earth and that they buy and sell, and that is why poor people are dealing with what we call gentrification, displacement, and all this stolen land nation. So we're going to have more conversations, and I won't take more of this time, but I just want to say that Lori Evaye got that on every level, walked that on every level, and lived that on every level. And it's a daughter of a houseless mama just like me who could barely make it, who knew that the isolation nation kills. She knew this was the answer. So yeah, we are building Mama House, homefulness, that is what's behind you, and we'll talk more about that. We have a decolonized academy for youth who've been lost intentionally in the system because we know that's what these public schools do, not because they're wrong, but because the system who guards over them are. Because the police and the politricksters are stealing from our people and from us. So we are building a liberation school. We are graduating young people, teaching them back the history that stole from them, and we're building a liberation radio called KEXU, that's KSU, the Crossroads. And Lori is in those crossroads. So let's have a proper opening and get Mama Karina to come out and start us in a good way on the ceremony, and thank everybody for being here. Again, if you have no seat, I apologize. We'll get some rugs out here and people can sit on the ground.
I'm what they call the alumni.
Good afternoon, relatives. This is really hard for me. When I came into the poor family in 2011, it was when we were taking over a sacred site in Vallejo, and poor family came up and they supported us and they danced with us and they prayed with us. And I began to become a part of it, and became a part of the Elephant Council, and began to see the miracles that happened on this land. And I got to know Lori, and some of you may believe it or not, but Lori spent some time with us after she passed. She came over and hung out with us at our house. One time I was driving across the freeway and she came and sat in the seat next to me and we were talking. I said, "Hey, Lori, it's getting time for you to go. You can't be here with us that much longer." But it's this time right now, this time where this veil is really thin. This time where we can talk to our ancestors. This time where we can, we begin to let go. And as human beings, it's been difficult since the beginning of time. One of the ways that we heal as human beings is that we actually create family. Sometimes when we come from trauma, our family didn't treat us so well. But it's actually healthy to create family that's going to take care of you, and is going to hold you, and is going to love you. And that's what this family is. This poor magazine, decolonization, all of that stuff is what we're really saying is that it's family. And that we take each other in, and that we love each other. And that we put up with each other. And we get angry with each other. We figure out how to be with each other again. And that's what this is about. Lori was a strong individual with a beautiful mind. It was full of love and compassion. And I know that all of us have stories about her. She's leaving behind a family. And so right now what I'm going to do is what we do is actually our belief system is that our ancestors, which Lori is now one of, that we have a warrior that's standing up with us on the other side, that our ancestor is getting ready to go through the Western Gate. And our Western Gate is where the Golden Gate Bridge is. So we're going to offer some prayers in that Western direction, because our belief system is that when our ancestors pass from this land, this territory, they go and they wait for this ceremony that we're having. And they hang out on this island that we know as Alcatraz now. And when our ceremony is done, they could make that last trip. And I'm going to ask for folks to do something for me. So I'm going to pass around, or I'm going to have somebody help me out. Here's a abalone shell. And folks can pass this around. But what's going to pass around is, inside of this bag is tobacco that was grown here in our territory. And in your own way, we're going to ask you to put your own prayer into this shell with a piece of tobacco. And as we do that, we'll remember those stories of Lori. The last time I saw her in the flesh was the weekend before she passed, and they were going to do a school here. And I was leaving, and she was walking up right there. And we said hi to each other. And said, "Sorry, I have to go real quick." And she's like, "No problem, have a good day." And she had a little puppy in tow. And so I'm going to offer a prayer to the Western Gate as everybody is grabbing some of this tobacco and offering your own prayer. For those of you that don't know, this is white sage, and white sage is something that we help us to ground ourselves and to be here with one another and to offer these things. And so you could sit or stand or do whatever you want, because we're not about that right now. We're just about trying to figure out a way to make sure our sister is home, where she needs to be, and to ask her to come and help us when we need her to help us as well. Grandmothers and grandfathers, creator, ancestors, we thank you for the life of our sister Lori. We thank you for bringing her into our lives and for having her cross our life paths. We thank you for all of the warm hugs, the laughter, the strong words, and standing next to her, standing with her in ceremony and in struggle. We thank you for the love that she gave each and every one of us. We remember the hard times and the good times. We offer these prayers for Lori to help her to make a good transition right now, as we all come together in one mind and one thought, thinking about her and her life and everything that she's given. We ask that you help her to make this transition to the next side. And when she's there, that she's met by her ancestors with laughter and song and love, good food and language. They wrap her up in robes that are beautiful. And that when it's time for her to come, when we call on her as an ancestor, she helps us with the wisdom that she always had, with the laughter, with the hugs, with the smile. That we continue to do the work that she wanted to complete here on this land. And we continue to hold her up as she holds us up. We ask all of our ancestors on whose shoulders we stand to be with us today, to help us through this hard time. We as pitiful human beings are left here on this earth to struggle, and she is free. We ask that all of these prayers that we're putting down with this tobacco is a good offering for you. That it helps us to ease our hearts and our minds and our souls. That we continue to do this work on her behalf and on behalf of the next 7 generations and beyond. That this smoke is good enough, that our prayers are good enough, and that we see happiness in the sunset for today, to know that Lori has gone on and that we have done everything that we could on this side. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, so what's going to happen with the tobacco is that when we're finished putting the tobacco in, then I'm going to make a bundle. We'll hang it here in the tree. And the next full moon, somebody from Homefulness will burn it. And those prayers will go up.
And also just to let folks know, we always celebrate Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, and we will be again with our youth scholars, with danza and with other prayer on Thursday, November 1st at 3 o'clock. And of course, it'll be leading with our sister Lori, and everybody's invited. So I'm going to turn it now over to Sochi and Sauda and our family. Do you guys need the mic or it's just... Yeah? Okay.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be here amongst this ancestor, Ibae, Laure McElroy. I'm going to start just to say a prayer in the language you use for our tradition, Yoruba, which is the Ifa tradition that comes out of West Africa, to just acknowledge all the forces of nature that we call Orisha. And Ayodele Sauda is going to say a prayer to the ancestors specifically, and say a few words for Lori, and we'll do a song for the ancestors. Iba she boborisha, mo pweni funoro, olodumare oba jiki moji lunio, mo ogun marinaye, igun kini, igun keti, igun keti, igun kere, olodoni boboide, wandi leaye, wa fumi ni temita ya tomo tikbe topa. Iba she lawori joyo, iba she lamu, iba she waru, iba she ariwa, iba she gusu, iba she obagbaye, iba she orunoke, iba she akoda, iba she asheda, iba she atiwo, iba she ori ashe.
Hi everyone. So what I want to do is to pray a little bit in the way that I know how to pray, and remember Lori, who I didn't get to know enough of. But when I was looking at pictures that were on your website, it was just very profound. I remember her in the few times that we had acquaintance. And I was very saddened because many of our lives go too soon. And at the same time, I was just very aware from everything that people have been saying, and also from what I have felt, that, you know, we all come with a destiny. And we all come, and the best that can be said of us is that what we left it better than we found it. That we lifted people up, that we were part of making this time a time that would go forward in terms of all of our relations, in terms of the descendants. And I'm just knowing from what I've read and what I've heard that Lori is here, may not be here in the physical body, but here in all of what she left here, all of what she taught, all of what she fought for and loved for and healed for. And that's the best that we can say. So I just want to pour libations first, as I want to say, Ibashe, and pour libations for the ancestors. And in our tradition, the number 3 is really important, because it's a number of completion. So I pour libation first for Lori, and for her journey that she is on, that she has taken, that all of us will one day take. I pour libations for her ancestors, those people from whom she came from, that made the beautiful spirit that walked the earth. I pour libation for all of our ancestors, because as it is said, we are who we are because of who they were. May we always remember and listen to their whisperings in our ears. May we always remember that they are continually lifting us up. May we always remember, may we understand, as Lori is making this walk, that her ancestors, those that came before her on the left and on the right, in front of her and behind her, still lifting her up, still moving her through. May she be welcomed into the land of ancestors with sister, job well done. With sister, job well done. Come and rest. Come and rest. And come, Lori, and be with us in the way that it is right for ancestors to be with us. Let us hear her words. Let us hear the way in which those boots that you all were talking about, that she was always ready. May we always be ready. May we always be ready. May we always be ready. And may we continue to fight and struggle and say it is not okay for us to be dead at 40-something years old, for our lives to be taken in that way. We understand the larger context of life, and to understand that we live and die not just because of what we do, but because of what is done. And may we always fight for justice. And may the memory of Laure always keep us moving towards that. Ashe.
I have a few words, and we just found out yesterday that another elder in our community crossed over. She was an elder. She died in poverty. Also, an African-American woman, a black woman. I took notes because my heart is pretty heavy, so I'm going to be using my notes, and I apologize for that. But one of the things, as Ayodele said, in our tradition, we understand that we come here with a destiny, with a purpose, with something we are here to do, to leave, to give, to uplift. And when we come, we have things in our right hand and we have things in our left hand. And in our right hand are the people, the circumstances, and the situations that will support us, that will uplift us, that will help us to fulfill our purpose here. In our left hand, we come with those people and those circumstances that will oppose us, that will try to rob us or steal our blessings or take away our ability to fulfill our purpose and our destiny. And Laure, being born a poor black woman, came with a very, very heavy left hand. You know, the forces of oppression, those violences greeting her and bearing down on her on a daily basis. And those who would want to rob her or at least prevent her from utilizing and displaying and developing her gifts and her blessings. At the same time, in her right hand, it's obvious from the gathering here and from the life that she had many of you as the people who saw her, who supported her, who uplifted her, and who allowed her to bring forth her very, very particular and specific genius that she had. And and she was able to. Many people are not even able to. They're just, it's the fight is constant. And the fight was constant for Laure as it is for many other people. And she had an internal strength and a supportive community that allowed her to bring her best self forward. She fought against the forces that tried to beat her down and the forces of oppression. And she did this in a way where she was trying, along with her comrades, to pull them out by the root. And in doing that, it was far beyond her own self-interest. It lives far beyond her work. I pray that as she journeys into her next phase and joins the ancestors, she is able to know that she did good and brilliant work, that she is settled in that. Furthermore, I think she was in the right hand of many of you here. She was your support. She helped lift you up. She helped guide you. She helped to inspire you as well. And I pray that her strength and her ingenuity continue to inform and teach and inspire everybody here, all of us really, and that the courage and the fight that was left, that she left and that she manifested, that it live on in us, in the young generation and the ones beyond them too. I pray also in the way she was not able to overcome any of her demons, whether they be external, internal, combination, back and forth, that also too inform and teach, so that where we meet those struggles in our own lives, we have learned something from Laure, and we can take one more step out of that which keeps us in such just really struggling places. I say thank you. Thank you, Laure. Thank you, Poor Magazine. Thank you, Homefulness, all that you've given to all of us. And Laure, may you be at peace. Ashe.
I'm just going to offer a couple of songs in the tradition. They're songs for the ancestors, and one of the things that I think helps us to move along in our journey once we have discarded the need of this physical body is that we are lifted in prayer and song, in words, that we are encouraged to be on our journey and to know that how much we were loved, how much we will be missed, and how much we will also be called on. Orisha biegungun kosi, Orisha biegungun kosi, Bemio, Bemio, Orisha biegungun kosi, Bemio, Orisha biegungun kosi, Orisha biegungun kosi, Bemio, Bemio, Orisha biegungun kosi, Bemio, Orisha biegungun kosi, Orisha biegungun kosi, Bemio, Bemio, Orisha biegungun kosi, Bemio, Orisha biegungun kosi, Orisha biegungun kosi, Bemio, Bemio, Orisha biegungun kosi, Bemio. Thank you.
I do want to thank Sauda and Sochi, and just to remind us that when we talk about, this pan-poverty and pan-indigenous work, one of the other powerful things that Lori was an extremely important part of was People School, where we teach everyone how to unpack and unlink their mind from the lies that this society, that this United Snakes of America land teaches our people, our children, and everybody. And so as Sochi and Sauda brought that prayer, and we started with our sister Karina, we honor and ask permission before we even built Homefulness, and had ceremony with all four corners of Mother Earth. We also bring in Pura Pecha people of my brother Moot, and Taino people of my mama, and Mexica people and Maya people, because we're really trying to, again, learn back the things that the colonizer stole from us. When we talk about decolonize, it is about love, and it is about learning, and how we're all being hurt by this system. So we're going to call up our small, humble pieces of our danza group, led by Moteado Silencio. We're also part of Kapuli Kotlikwe, and so we're blessed to have Suli and Laura and Likwat here. And also this is something that we're working on with our young people. If people don't know, we're actually helping our young men become part of a coming-of-age ceremony called the Jaguar Ceremony, another extremely difficult amount of work that we do to help our young folks actually raise up in the way that's going to help them save and hope and hold Mother Earth and her Earth peoples.
So we're gonna start off with the 4 directions, and we're an intertribal dancing circle. So we acknowledge the diaspora of native peoples in North and South America, as well as Central America being also part of North America, just a little further down. So right here we have Trudy, who is Mayan from Guatemala. My family, we're Pame from San Luis Potosí. We're from the mountain area. We have two Taino relatives right here, which you guys know is Tiny and Tibu. And we have our Purepecha brother here, which is Mutiel Silencio. So for us, we're going to start off with the 4 directions, and then we're also going to go into... Yeah, I'll translate right now too. And then we're going to go into a dance. The first dance we're going to do is for Mother Earth, because we all end up in Mother Earth at the end anyway, right? Which is not really the end, it's just a transition to the spirit world. And something we were commenting before we started, me and Mutialo were saying, wow, you know, there's a lot of dogs and a lot of puppies, but the interesting part is that specifically the Chihuahua is actually a native dog to North America. So the Chihuahua actually for us helps us and guides us through the transitional, through the spirit world. And it's the dog that actually helps us pass through what we call the underworld, but the underworld isn't in the way that people think of it, right? Today people think underworld, they think of something bad, but no, underworld is where all of us go. It's just a place where we kind of look at it as you're a coal, and once you get through the underworld, you become a diamond, right? So for us, it's usually dogs that help us go through that. So we're very fortunate to have so many dogs around here. Yeah. So, Mateo, where's your mom at? Doña Roselia. So yeah, nomás Doña Roselia, pues aquí estamos, ¿verdad? Para celebrar la vida de Lori, pero también teniendo en cuenta, ¿verdad? Que nosotros somos un grupo intertribu, porque somos de diferentes naciones, diferentes tribus, culturas, pero que sí, aquí estamos rezando y también estamos aquí para poder tener en cuenta que vamos primero a empezar con las 4 direcciones y después vamos a hacer la danza de la Madre Tierra, porque todos regresamos a la Madre Tierra. Y después de eso vamos también tener en cuenta que hay muchos perros aquí, porque los perros es que nos ayuda a pasar al mundo de los espíritus, que viene siendo el mundo de mi clan. Mateo.
and it's mainly for those that are left behind after the fact. Because a lot of times it's those left behind that feel it the most, right? So this is the deer dance. And I'm just going to dance it here. Let's just where everybody, come on, so we could get off. directions.
Okay, beautiful people, thank you for sitting with this. Again, I just want to be really, really clear that as we are decolonizing and bringing our own selves back to cultura, back to Mother Earth, away from the lie that anybody buys and sells Mother Earth, which we know they do. You're sitting on Homefulness. For thanks to Lori and her work and all of us together, the work of People School, teaching folks with race and class privilege about redistribution and reparations, community reparations, as we call it at Poor Magazine. The idea that if I know you, I'm responsible for you, that we are interdependently connected, and that in fact as poor single parents, isolation kills. And when me and Mama Lori and Mama Sandra Sandoval moved into Florida Street, if any of you read the Love-Uary that I wrote for her, I like to change the colonizer's language a lot, but anyway, the Love-Uary, we talked about how the Mama House has saved us. It literally, us saving us, right? We didn't need a non-profiteer, we didn't need an anti-social worker, we didn't need a case mangler, we didn't need a piece of paper from a government crumb. We saved each other. Can I get a witness? And we saved each other with poetry, with prayer, with song, and Mama Lori was part of the welfare queen, small W, capital Q. I want to call out Tracy Jones Faulkner, who's here with us, one of the OG welfare queens. I want to call out Vivi T. I want to call out Queen Nandi, Auntie Frances, our sister Dharma, Sister Junebug, who's not here today, who tried to come, and basically so many of us, Mama Blue, Mama Audrey Candy Corn, and so many of us trying to actually teach folks about the lie of criminalization of poor people, of poor parents, and of our bodies. And like I always say, no matter how many times you sweep me, it doesn't give me a home. And I see Sister Ivy, who's here, yay, and her mom, her beautiful mom, who brought Lori in 1999. Call out to Mama D, for without whom there'd be no me, who's definitely kicking it with Lori right now. Know that. Call out Kilu Nyasha, whose a picture appeared in the house, a picture we don't even own, literally. So she wanted to make sure her voice was heard today. Anyway, right now we're bringing out food, and I don't know if there's plates that were redistributed over here, but we need to make sure that if not, we have plates. Do we have no plates?
Yeah, we have plates.
Okay, so we're gonna serve, so people want to kind of line up somewhere and get food. While that transition is happening, we're gonna actually bring up or open it up to our open mic. And so we're gonna ask for, I think our first thing on the open mic was the beautiful Queen Nandi and her praise dance, and then we have another sister who's joined us from the Self-Help Hunger Program, who's going to brace us with a song which is so much power and so much love. So, yeah, well, that's happening. And then we'll start, anyone else who has a poem, who has a prayer for Lori, this is going to be an open mic. We will be able to go till probably for about an hour, and then we're going to move into our tree planting.
I want to really thank cousin Terry from Southern California. Our whole dad's half of the family is down in Southern California. She made it up here on a, I guess it's a blue eye because it was early in the morning and not late at night. You know, our dad, anyway, one of his sisters told me when he was around 16, 17, he was playing piano. Ornette Coleman was a neighbor who was really into jazz, and at a certain point he said to her, you know, there's so many there's so many black jazz musicians, I should really do something else. He loved music, but he became an architect. Anyway, it's ironic because, you know, it sounds like Lori was one of many faces in places, and he was like that, you know, like he was. There was a picture of him when he graduated from school in the Air Force, and he was the only black man in the room. Everybody else was white. He was the only black man there. And so hearing stories of Lori being a face in a place, you know, it wasn't surprising. And then I guess the last thing I would say is I was thinking, you know, our dad got really into activism. He was involved with the Black Panthers, Nation of Islam. His dad was a Baptist preacher and disowned him for a time because he became Nation of Islam. but it was always on this political trip, always on like this raise everybody up, take some action. And it seems like seeing all of you and hearing about all of this part of Laurie's life, like I got to a certain age, I became about music. The thing my dad sort of set down to do more important stuff, I became about that. I love rock and roll, I love blues, like I became about music. Sounds like Laurie became about doing something real, you know, or, I mean, music is real, but anyway, it's like she got that half of him and I got the other half of him, you know what I mean? So anyway, it's really, I'm really grateful for all the ceremonies, all the prayers, all the people, all the love, and yeah, it's a testament to her, and it's an honor to us to, you know, be branches from the same tree as her.
So we're going to actually ask Shay to come up, who's an amazing singer. I had the blessing of hearing. She's part of the Self-Help Hunger Program with our sister Auntie Frances, is also part of Homefulness. With Without Home, There Be No Us, and who is so much a revolutionary, and Bilal, and there's so many folks who aren't here today. Poor is a very big and beautiful blanket, so let's give it up to Shay.
Thank you, I appreciate it. How everybody doing? First of all, I want to give an honor to God, who is ahead of my life. Without him, I wouldn't be here. I didn't get a chance to know you guys. Precious Lauren, I believe is her name. Auntie Frances, she actually, she stayed down there in my hood where we at. So she asked me to come down here. And I was actually gone this weekend, but I made a point to be here for her because seeing her, you know, go through that, and she's been a very motivational person in my life. No matter when we go through our ups and downs, our happy, our struggles, whatever it is that we go down there on the island, which, you know, she always know how to come back and still keep the peace over there somewhere. You know, we see Auntie Frances, we're like, okay, that's some peace right there. So it's an honor. You know, this is my third funeral this year. You know, but to me, it's a blessing. It's a home celebration. That's what it is for me. You know, it's always somewhere better. You know, I do want to say on my behalf, I apologize because I did not participate in the ashes that you guys had going on, or the tobacco going on. But I don't discriminate against other religions. We are all still somebody in God's eyes. He is still somebody moving in our life, no matter what it is. No matter if we're Christian, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So I don't go against that. But I do want to say I do apologize for the loss that you guys have. It's not easy going through something. I'm still going through a lot of mourning. And right now, God is doing blessings. I'm reaching 30. I might look like a baby, but I'll be 28 soon. But God has just been doing amazing things in my life. And I want to tell you, for your friend that passed away, for your sister that passed away, this is a home celebration. You know, I believe that her spirit is somewhere and she's moved on and she's happy. You know, she doesn't have to cry no more. She doesn't have to suffer no more. You know, and to me, that's Jesus. That's who taught me, you know, and that's who's keep on moving me, the Holy Spirit. So I just want to tell you guys to keep your head up, stay encouraged. Amen. And that's it. So I'm going to leave you with this song, and I hope you guys get through whatever you guys go through. My name is Shay, on behalf of Auntie Frances and the family. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Father God, I come in your name right now in Jesus' name, and I want to pray for this family right now. I want to pray for this movement right now, Father God, in Jesus' name. I'll come to you right now, Father God, humbly, and I ask you to pray and bless each and every one of them, Father God. Use me, use this song right now, Father God, in the name of Jesus, so we can bless them in Jesus' name. Amen. Here it is. Why should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadow come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my potion, constant friend is he. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know, yeah, he watches me. I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy. Yes. Oh, and I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know Jesus, he died for me.
Can I ask if Mama Nandi's ready for the praise dance? Coming up. So again, we're moving to the open mic prayer. People have poems, if they have words they'd like to say for our sister Lori. Now is that time to come up. Ivy. So Nandi, you want to get ready for a minute? Have someone else come up? Are you okay? Ivy, come on up then, babe. I do want to say that without Ivy, there wouldn't have no Lori. Ivy brought Mama Lori in to Mama D and me.
It's so great to be with everyone today. I met Lori. I'll never forget how we met. My punk band was playing at People's Park for a Food Not Bombs benefit in the summer of 1993. And we played with MDC and Rancid and the Funky Nixons, y'all. Do you remember the Funky Nixons? Yeah. How could we forget? Barbara Bush's dog. But Lori was what we would call, she was a crusty punk. She was a squatter in San Francisco, and I was a homeless kid, so we bonded that day. I'll never forget seeing her so bright and fierce and beautiful, and she was friends with MDC, the band, Millions of Dead Cops. It stands for a lot of things, Multi-Death Corporation. And I have a video of that day we met, of her dancing fiercely. She's moshing in the pit with a puppy on a chain on her belt. I'm like, I need to know this. Babe, who is this? And so we met then, but it was a few years before we became really close again. It was 1998 when I was doing harm reduction work with the UFO study. And I was just I was just not far from the life of being a squatter and a homeless punk rock anarchist kid, and it was a very tricky time, and Lori was really, really supportive, and she says, we need more people like you, Ivy, doing public health. And she was always so supportive, and I was to her too. And I met Tiny and Dee when I was doing my old zine, Turkville Donut, doing political poverty writing from 6th Street. And Dee and Tiny had the journalism program for poor folks. What was it called?
Poverty journalism.
It was poverty journalism, and I asked Lori to join me. I said I knew she was such a brilliant, visionary light. Her voice, her writing is like no other. I mean, she should have 5 books by now, right? We have to make that happen. So that's up to us to continue her legacy. But that's how they met, and it's so beautiful to see over these 20 years how this family has grown, and I'm so honored to still be here with you all and see what you've built. And Homefulness is such a beautiful expression of this love and solidarity and decolonizing, right? So I'm so glad to be a part of this family and know you all. And I would sing a song for her, which is a Bobby Blue Bland cover, I'm Not Ashamed.
All right.
I'm not ashamed 'cause you saw me cry. I'm not angry 'cause I caught you lying. Whoa, 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 baby, no matter what you do, I'm gonna keep on loving you. I'm not ashamed, baby, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed 'cause I'm on my knees, begging you, baby, to take me back, please. Whoa, 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 baby, no matter what you do, I'm gonna keep on loving you. I'm not ashamed, baby, I'm not ashamed. Although you lied, scandalized my name, I'd still love you just the same. I'm not ashamed 'cause you saw me crying. I'm not angry 'cause I caught you lying. Whoa, 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 baby, no matter what you do, I'm gonna keep on loving you. I'm not ashamed, baby, I'm not ashamed.
I just feel like it's important to say something right here. Lori was not about bullshit. So excuse my French, there are some children in the room. We love our children, know we ghetto too.
Allergic to bullshit.
Okay, right? So real talk. If anybody called out racism, if anybody called out white supremacy, if anybody called out classism and poverty, it was my sister Lori. And I want to say that right now because one of the reasons that her and me were homeless in San Francisco, aka gentrification city, one of the reasons that she ended up in a position where she was being harmed by what we called isolation nation, my mama Dee and me, was because of racism, of removal of poor people, of black and brown people out of San Francisco. And so one of the things that literally almost killed me, and really in a lot of ways, I'm going to say it, led to the early passing of my sister, was that system, that extractive industry of buying and selling Mother Earth and profiting off of her so that we can move people out and move people in. Because when we had Mama House, we had everything, folks. We had everything. We had interdependence. We built actually connection between us single parents who had never had anybody when we needed to take a break from our babies. And so CPS would be called because we left our children alone. We had support when one of us didn't have money or a food stamp or a crumb, the other one would. That's called interdependence, and that's what this is built it is not an accident that she passed this early, because that system, that isolation, that harm literally almost killed me. Ended up us poisoned by mold, and then me and my family and Tony had to move in here before it was even here, and we were unable to build Homefulness fast enough because she told me, Mama has kept me alive, Tiny. So I just want to say that, because everything that we are living and walking and being ain't no joke. It ain't no laughing matter. And this shit kills us every day. And no matter how many times you sweep me, it don't give me a home. And that's the power of Laure McElroy's life. It'll be her power, as Karina and Sochi and Sauda said, as she comes and stands with us as we march into that next welfare in our neighborhood, as we share more medicine with folks who are open to the concept of redistribution and community reparations, and as we continue to decolonize each of us so that we do not keep perpetrating this mess on each other.
Yeah.
Oh, Mateo. And I want to pass it to my sister Nandi, for without whom there be no me as well. Mama Nandi, Mama Vivi T, Mama Lori, Mama Tracy, Mama Jumba,
Come on,
Mama Dharma. We're going to do a praise dance.
I don't know why I said it praise dance, y'all. I'm sorry. I can't dance a damn lick, but Laura said dance, damn it. So that's what the hell I'm finna do. Because this is a song, y'all. This is a song, y'all, that I suggest y'all listen to, because I've been having hella bad days right along with my comrades. Man, I just had a surgery. They said do or die. You gotta have the surgery, your ass gonna die. You gotta take care of your health. You gotta do this. You gotta learn how to walk again. You gotta fix your back. You gotta fix your head. Been through all this stuff. I'm like, I can't fix all that. That's the divine power's job. We always get positions that we do divine shit to be human beings. I'm sorry for the language, kids, but like they say with kids, some of my kids cuss more than me sometimes. Especially when it comes to Trump, that's when they cuss. I didn't hear my 13-year-old cuss until Trump came into office. Damn you, Trump, I ain't never heard that child cuss. But I can't praise dance, but this is for Lori, man. This is for Lori. We gonna do this. Turn this up, man. This song, y'all.
I think I know. If there could be a kid who knows how to do, or maybe you, I don't know if I know what I'm doing with this thing. Does somebody know how to deal with the thing?
Life is like a big merry-go-round. You're up and then down, going in circles, trying to get to where you are. Everybody's been telling you out, but where are they now? Sitting in the same old place, just faces in the crowd. We all make mistakes.
Can I give a round up for Baby for Mama Nandi? So I don't know who else wants to say some words for Mama Lori. Mama Tracy? Yes, everybody. Oh, okay, no. Okay. It's all good. So,
Let's do grounding. So, I'm a pagan, as you know. So, we also believe in the Mother Earth, and honor the Mother Earth, and we also believe in stillness and listening. And if we really want to hear the Earth, if we really want to hear our ancestors, we have to listen. They all don't stop. Don't listen. So we're going to stop for a second. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Feel the sun in. Feel the earth below you. Feel the wind. I want you to put your feet down into the earth. Feel yourself go down, down. Feel yourself be hugged by the earth. And the mother is there. And she is both fiery and strong. She is warm. And she's holding you strong, and she loves you. And she is whispering to you, I am here. Everything you need is right here. You just need to reach out. I want you to feel the sun and the warmth, the wind. Look inside. And inside is a little voice. The little voice inside is the spirit. And through the spirit comes the ancestor's voice. You can hear the message. You just need to stop. Breathe.
I just want to say too that Mama Tracy is real humble, but she's the reason also that me and Lori are alive. These beautiful webs that us poor single parents weave together. When my mom was sick with what took her to the other side, and I was houseless, and my mom was houseless, and I had an infant, aka that giant 15-year-old who's walking around like he's a man. A.K.A. Tiburcio, Ken Main, Garcia, Gray, Robles. But I literally was in a stroller with him, and I went to City College because I figured, well, maybe I could go to school, and maybe, I don't know what, maybe I could figure out something. And I was about to leave, and Tracy saw me, and she goes, oh, you know, we have childcare in here. And I'm like, thinking it's going to cost the $1,200 a month, the childcare costs, which is a vicious circle. So, like my mama Junebug says, you can't ever get out of it. And anyway, I found the Family Resource Center, and it's free.
It's still going.
Right? It's still going. It's over at City College in San Francisco, and she fights the battle every day to keep it going. And that's
Created in 1996. So the Family Resource Center was created by single moms and poor moms who were on welfare. And during the 1996 welfare reform, we started being told that, you know, we had to start working 32 hours and we were being told we wouldn't be able to go to school anymore, and we were like, hell no! So we actually got up and we fought for education to be part of welfare reform. And at the same time, we just realized we needed a place to network and work together. So the Family Resource Center was created. And the idea is community. The idea is that we're all there to help each other. And you get free childcare while you go to class. There's resources. There's a computer lab. We're there to support you, whatever you need. And we don't ask any, it's not income-based, because I don't want to know how much money you make. It's none of my business how much money you make or don't make, right? And that's one of the things that always pissed me off most about the system, was because they always do you deserve the money? Are you frauding us? What's this, you know? They're always in your business, somehow, you know, because you're poor, you must be on the game. And even if you're on the game, it's because you have to be on the game, right? Because you have no choice. You got to hustle, because how do you survive otherwise? So anybody who's like, oh, she don't deserve it because she's not a good enough mom, or any other bullshit that they try to put at us, it is bullshit. And the whole thing is that if we work together, if we help each other out, we can rise us all up.
Oh. And so Tracy was part of the original OG Welfare Queens of Poor Magazine, and we did a beautiful play, and yeah, a lot of activism, a lot of work, and continued some research. Any other people who want to speak or do a poem or a prayer? Because we're going to actually move. Come on up. Come on up. We're going to actually do the tree planting in a few minutes, so please, Shoshana, please.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's made this ceremony so beautiful. I've known Lori since 6th grade, and we became friends because we were both kind of the outcast kids in different ways, but we both had single moms or struggling moms, but really what bonded us was music. And the poem that's in your programs by Leroy really just touched my heart. But I wanted to also share a story, since most of you know Lori as this hardcore punk rocker, stand up for anything woman. Well, back when we were in school, we'd never been to concerts before, and I was really into Motley Crue. And Lori could not stand that. She was all about the pretty English white boys, and she liked Wham, believe it or not. Believe it or not. So I really wanted to go see Motley Crue, and I had to bring a friend with me. My mom was like, you're not going to a concert by yourself. So I said, okay, Lori, please, I'll buy your ticket. Go to this concert with me. She said, okay, but when Wham play, you have to go with me. So we went to the concert. It was quite an experience. I didn't get grounded magically. And then Wham broke up.
Yeah, I was forced to actually liberate cheese from Walgreens to eat, right? But, you know, so therefore I was a criminal. I was a criminal, right?
A survivor.
Right? And right? And what else you gonna do? But oh yeah, according to health fair, as my sister Viv calls it, I was a bum. And that writing thing I wasted time doing was just a thing that was taken away from me making money and paying on my bootstraps. Anyway, so we wrote this piece at that time. Okay, so we're gonna move this in because we all do it together. This poem is in honor of homeless mothers and poor mothers,
No-wage mothers and no-wage mothers,
welfare mamas and three-job
working mothers,
incarcerated mamas and inmigrante mothers. In other words, this poem is in honor of INS with CPS with, and most of all,
System Mess with Mothers.
This poem is in honor of all those women and men, because don't sing me that song about gender again, who fight and struggle and steal and beg in every crevice and corner to keep our kids in a bed, who dress and feed with tired hands, who answer cries over and over again, who deserve to be coddled and loved, fed and protected, instead of criminalized, racialized, and never respected, who can barely make it,
but sometimes do,
and still raise all the world's people, like me and you and you.
So can I get a witness?
Can barely make it,
But always do,
and still raise all the world's people, like me and you and you. And for you, Laurie, we love you! It's the seed of Pro Magazine.
Yo te extrañaré, tenlo por seguro. Gracias. Todavía no lo puedo creer,
I still can't believe it.
que la vida es tan corta.
That life is so short.
Nunca pensé que ya no iba a volver a ver a Lori.
I never thought that I would not ever see Lori.
Por eso que la vida tenemos que vivirla como si fuera el último día.
That's why we have to live life like it was our last.
Hoy estamos y mañana no.
Today we're here, but tomorrow maybe we won't be.
Gracias, Tiny.
Thank you, Tiny.
Gracias, Muteado.
Thank you, Muteado.
Por decirme y ahora estoy aquí.
For letting me know, and because of that I am here.
Han pasado muchas cosas en mi vida
Many things have happened to me in my life.
que yo pensé que me iba hace como un mes también.
I thought I was going to be out of this world about a month ago as well.
Pero Dios ha sido tan grande.
But God has been great.
Y gracias a mi hijo Alex.
And thanks to my son Alex, who's right there.
Él es el motor de mi.
He's the motive for my life that I'm still here.
Gracias a todos, los quiero mucho.
Thank you to all of you. I love you guys.
I just want to say, for people who don't understand the power of what POR does, is that we teach people school, right, to folks with race and class privilege, and they redistribute blood-stained dollars, which then become love-stained dollars. But I'm saying that also my heart is full with sorrow, and my heart is full with joy, because I haven't seen Ingrid, because this pinche life is too hard on our poor folks, and sometimes it's beyond even climbing our way out of, right? But this liberation is so important for all of you who are here. Thank you. If you want to know more, if you happen to have a trust fund, kick down. The reason that it stopped right there at the Tyvek is we don't have any more blood-stained or love-stained dollars. And we were just hit by the water gangsters with $47,000. Yes, I did say $47,000 to get a piece of paper that said we could have a water meter. So that's what it means. And for poor people to build, for folks with no resources, not Lennar, not, as I affectionately call them, the developers, for us to be building, for us to actually be trying to raise ourselves up in self-determination, as we say, gloves are off, because I know Lori wouldn't have wanted it any other way. And the only way this is going to happen is for us to teach more folks about the concept of redistribution. We are not looking to philanthropists for our solutions. We are not looking for government gangsters and politricksters. We are looking to each other, because we have enough. We have enough. And that's how this is going to be built. And hopefully Ingrid and her familia de Guate will be here, and all of the across these false borders that separate us and criminalize bodies for the sole act of crossing the false borders, for all of the things that we speak upon and teach upon, manifestation is where we're at now. And that's real. And we're still fighting. For all our folks in these fake encampments, we're doing a street writing workshop, a poverty journalism workshop right now in Berkeley, trying to find a liberated land for unhoused folks there who they again told to move, who were cleanly sitting there and living there on the street for nothing other than being without a roof, because they put a price on Mama Earth. So yeah, this Homefulness 2 is about to be built in Berkeley. We just need that liberated land and money. Justice, you going to say something? Is that why you're here?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Let's give it for Justice, who helped us this happen today.
Justice! I would like to thank God for the experience that is Laure McElroy. Because we met at this art show called Streetopia, and out in San Francisco, and you know, she just came up to me and was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was just like, "Nothing." She's like, "Wanna hang out?" I'm like, "Okay." And I automatically knew in that moment I had met a kindred spirit, you know. So I'm really grateful to be here with y'all today and to see the wonderful family that surrounds her currently now, and just, hey, thank you for being here, you know.
All right. We're gonna actually ask for, I don't know if Mote is inside, but maybe Jeremy could help us. We're gonna actually start to deal with the tree, and while we're dealing with the tree, if other folks want to speak on the mic, please come up. But we do want to make sure that there's some of her folks here as we plant this beautiful apricot tree, and put libations on it, and bring in the other ancestors who are around us. And we need the shovels from the back. I think we've lost our gardeners. Jeremy,
You know what happens?
You want to help Layla? Layla likes to do it.
I don't think so because it's there's something about it being a female tree. It's not no, the female trees don't smell. Really?
Yeah.
Or no, is it
Bathroom.
okay. Maybe I just.
There's a tree that smells and there's a tree that doesn't.
And I think the smelling would have been different. But either way,
Yeah.
and I thought I was taking care of it better. But then I also realized my trees actually look a lot better.
Oh. No, está bien. You can be there. I just want to make sure you were out here. That's fine. But Tiburcio, do you have your poem?
Can I take a couple?
Want to read it?
Can I dig a couple?
So we could go a little bit deeper.
I'll do it.
I'm not going to talk about it. So, Tibu, you ready to read it? Can you get it?
Yeah, and you have to water it. And then when you're tired of watering it, water it some more.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I do want to say another thing, and it isn't even another thing, but you could say that literally was one of the things that actually even she told Vern it was really important to Lori was the building of the radio station that we're doing here. And to not mention is my bad. There's so many things in my head and so much sorrow. But KEXU, the Crossroads, which we actually by any means necessary, Mute and Jeremy and myself and Diallo and Tibu, you know, we went through this big long process and put the antenna up on East Side Arts Alliance, and then there's another thing and another thing, all of which we don't understand. And myself and Leroy and Bruce and Quinande and Bilal and Jose Villarreal, hello, we love you, and you're not here, and so many, Mark G, and now Rebecca, and all of the other cats that are here, that are the future of KEXU, Maria Moore. So we managed to do it. We're streaming now, we're doing all these things, and then right after she transitioned, just like right after my mom transitioned, all the electrical went down. Right after Lori transitioned, literally almost the next day, right when we were doing her tribute show, the soundboard broke. The Concast, and I did say Concast, the high-speed internet that we got for the radio that we had to, that costed more money than we had, that went down. And Gary 1 and 2 moved into the radio studio. Now you might ask, who is Gary 1 and 2? Gary 1 and 2 is so named by Tibu, a rat, Gary 1, and another rat, Gary 2. Why Gary? Why do they have like a 70s insurance salesman name? I don't know. But anyway, Gary 1 and 2 moved in and started eating the walls. And lo and behold, what we didn't know is they also started eating the wires. So the reason we went down. So we just fixed it, and just in time, and we decided, oh, well, I guess we're getting a message that we need to stop making media for a little while, just take a break. And that's what we did. We've been doing healing groups, we've been processing this grief, we've been holding each other, and we've been doing a lot of pain, to be real, a lot of pain. But one incremental little piece at a time, we're going to go back up this week. And, tune in to KEXU 96.1 FM if you're on the Park or any of Fruitvale or High Street, East Oakland area, or streaming online at poormagazine.org/radio or on SoundCloud. We're there, we're making it happen. You gotta listen to Crip Hop Radio, you gotta listen to Free Aslan, you gotta listen to the next upcoming Pacific Island Scholars with Lo and Fui. If you're out there listening, we're gonna make sure. Karina's gonna do Indigenous Radio Hour, she doesn't know it yet, but she's gonna do it. And I'm with Maria Moore, Rebecca, and Che. They're all going to be doing another powerful show for folks who've lost their children through pro-life terror and all the ways in which the system predates on our black and brown and poor people. So a lot of powerful radio is going to be happening. Please listen in. And really, for Lori, that was so much. It was everything. If you want to see some of her work, look on Poor News Network, Poor Magazine's YouTube channel. So as we start to plant this, if people want to gather around, in the Ifa tradition we have libations, which are water. And so I would like to what we're going to do is call out an ancestor's name, and I am not a priest, and I'm not trying to be, but because Sochi and Sauda are not here, I'm going to just be pouring these libations for ancestors. And then if anybody wants to call out an ancestor at the same time, I'm going to put this mic down.
You need to really step on it.
You want me to hold it next to you?
Sure, that'd be great.
You need to really step on it.
Yeah.
Can't be any air pockets in there.
Oh, look at Gardner.
It won't, no air pockets have to.
Really?
Real oil dye, the roots will.
What?
Yeah, so you need to.
Oh, I didn't even know. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Karina the gardener just told us some crucial knowledge. Hi,
The roots will get into the air pockets and then they won't get what they need and they'll die.
We broke
So you have to really like stamp on it, stamp on it, stamp on it.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Get some feet in there.
You need a lot of water.
And yeah,
Really?
and you need
Okay.
to like.
So can somebody fill up one of those so that we can have a different water, and then this one we'll drop it. Do we need more water? Go for it.
Oh yeah, now you need to water it like
a lot.
And then when you're tired of watering it, water it some more. No, seriously.
All right. Okay. That sounds like a crucial job. Yes, for sure. So we're
Yes.
Yeah, here it is. It's an apricot tree. Lori really did love fruit. It's like she loved chocolate cake. And we tried to find her two favorite fruits. Really were apricots and nectarines, and there were no nectarine trees. But yeah, this is an apricot tree, so it's pretty deep. I want to call out Torian Dejar Hughes, who has a tree here. That's Audrey Candycorn's son, who transitioned because of community violence at only 17. And it's really powerful that he's next to her, I feel, because out of all the ancestor trees, his tree has blossomed and grown beyond what makes sense. I mean, it literally, like any kind of white science would tell you that it shouldn't have, grown that much. But it's grown, it blossoms, it has fruit when harvesting is on. It had all these peaches this year. So this is powerful land right here. So do we have, can I just get that water bottle in? Oh, here we go, it's coming. Yeah.
Okay, yes, good.
Okay, so in this tradition, in the Ifa tradition, what you say is Moju Bayo, love and respect to you. So I'm going to say it, and when I say it, people can call it an ancestor. I'm going to first just say, for Lori, we miss you. To be real, I wish I wasn't doing this ceremony today. I just wish you were here. I just want to say that. I just want to say that, and I'm sorry that that's not the right thing to say, but I know that you didn't mess around and you weren't bullshit. So I just want to say that I love you so much. And lifting her up in a spiritual journey. Moju Bayo, love and respect to you, Laure McElroy. Moju Bayo, love and respect to you. Other folks, please call in.
Just Ellie.
Moju Bayo, love and respect to you.
Christine Lee.
Moju Bayo, love and respect to you.
Gilbert Baker.
Moju Bayo, love and respect to you.
Serena Zahn.
O'Shane Evans.
Hector Alamillo and Hector Alamillo Jr. on the altar now.
Nellie Velasco. Maddie Love.
Okay.
Emma Devancourt.
Oh, yeah.
Joni Blank.
My mom, Juanita Louise Flaherty, my brother Mark Flaherty, Jan Shislowski. Thank you, Lori, of course, I love you.
William Wong. And my twin daughter, Charlotte Hewitt.
My father dead, McClellan.
Yeah.
Anton Reginald Dunnigan, my auntie and comrade.
Joanne D. Michelle.
Amity.
Naomi Mallinson, my mother.
My mother and father, Norma and Donald Zahn.
Mojibayu, love and respect to you.
Rebus Thompson.
Robin Few.
Mojibayu.
I'm supposed to press a button or something?
I think it's
My
on.
mama,
It's on.
Ellen Drury.
Mojibayu.
Oh, beautiful.
One of my mamas, Dusty Dawn.
Mojibayu.
My mom, Joanne Guzman.
Mojibayu.
Stephanie Kulik.
Mojibayu.
Idris Daly.
Mojibayu.
Carolyn Brantley.
Mojibayu.
Tony Al Roebuck.
Mojibayu.
Mark Hillard, Michael Miller, Anton Marenko.
Arnold Torres.
Mojibayu.
Elsa Rivera.
Mojibayu.
Andrew Hunter.
Donna Price.
Charlene Paul.
Ivy.
Shannon Williams.
Mojibayu.
Anna Coelho.
My mom lives up north.
Mojibayu.
Lenny Soley.
Chris Turner. Mojibayu.
Okay, I'll do one more. Dennis Murphy.
Mojibayu. Luis Dimitru Gongara Pat. Mojibayu. Amilcar Perez Lopez. Uncle Bill Soro. Dr. China Soleil. I'm Mojibayu. Love and respect to you.
Jessica Nelson Williams.
Mojibayu. Piri Tomas. Papa Bear.
Jane Moore.
My mama.
Hey, Greer.
Cameron Moore.
Mojibayu. Mojibayu. Torian Deja Hughes.
Dennis Perone.
Mojibayu.
Nia Wilson.
Mojibayu.
Warren Ragudo.
Mojibayu.
David McGuire.
Elder Freeman, Troy Davis, and all the ancestors of all of our brothers and sisters on these streets, of all colors and nations who died because of colonization, racism, war, poverty, incarceration, our brothers and sisters behind the razor wire plantation who transitioned for no reason but this stolen nation.
Lori on Florida Street. I was like, whoa. She was like, kind of scary to me.
She was fierce.
I mean, I came from like a little mild mannered Florida. But I mean, yeah, but she was all decked out and wrapped up and pierced. But, you know, when she smiled and laughed, it was like, oh, wow. What a revelation of the transformation of in my eyes. She was a heartwarming lady.
I just want to say, Lori, you made it. You made it. And you know, none of us here were ready to say goodbye. Still aren't. But you lived self-determination. The whole thing. The struggles of it and the strengths of it. And you made it. You made it through your journey here, and I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful to have been able to walk some of it with you. And I don't even have any doubts, just knowing that for this next journey, knowing that you came in prepared, and we're sending you all this love. Just we know you don't need it, but we're gonna send it anyway, just to keep you going like that in a good way. So love you.
Real quick, y'all. Well, I just want to say that everybody who knew that Laure, that she loved to read, she would always come up to me, and she wouldn't be one of those annoying people who would be like, "What you reading?" She'd just sit next to me and just like read with me, you know. And because that really the first time I remember, like, to really remember her, because she knew me when I was really little, but the first time I really remember her, I was reading the third Harry Potter book for the third time, and I was sitting there, enveloped in this giant book, and she walked up to me, and I'm like, oh no, here's somebody else asking me to close the book so they can see it, and I'm gonna have to lose the page again. But she just sat down next to me, and she just looked at the page with me, and I'm like, and then she just read with me. She's like, yeah, no, I really like that part. I'm like, you know, me too. And so that was just a really awesome moment that I wanted to share, because she was somebody who really got me in the way of reading and understanding the love of and the passion of that people could find in books and stories and songs. Laure.
Anybody else has something on their heart they have to say, want to say? It's all good. We're going to do a song. We can also write the messages. I do want to say that the other side of the radio station is the Uncle Al Mama D Living Library. And it's a living library because things happen in there that are alive, but it's also a living library for our ancestors. So we've been blessed today by Vern with her ashes. Mama D's ashes is in there, and Uncle Al's ashes are going to be in there, and probably small parts of other folks' ashes. I just want you to all know, if you want to come and sit with Laure, that living library is going to be built out in about the next month with our youth scholars at Decolonize Academy. We appreciate help if you want to help us. And it's meant to be a place where you can sit and read, as Laure would love, as Mama D would love, as Uncle Al would love. But also to sit with them and talk to them, because those of us who know how Homefulness was built are very, very clear that our ancestors walked with us every day. So I'm going to sing this song, and it's I'm going to do it 3 times, and the third time hopefully you can follow along. It's for SU. SU is that's my Baba. You know, I'm half colonizer, pilgrim, all that wrong white supremacist mess. That's half of me, right? And the other half of me is my mama, who was hated, terrorized, and tortured as a mixed race orphan in Americaland from many different parts of Mother Earth. And Taino, Afro-Taino, and Roma. Anyway, I say that to say that when I sing this song, I sing with humility. I'm not a priest, but I do follow an Ifa tradition. And Eshu is the spirit of the crossroads, the trickster, the one who rules over media, actually, interestingly enough, words and communication. So I take that spirit humbly, but I also say that, you know, Laure, I believe, was a batala, which is education, reading, all of those things that she loves so much. But always would share her knowledge, who would always create these beautiful texts for People's School, and whose words, this is a very important part, her article, because she would always have issues about finishing stuff. And I think we all understand that, right? Like I'll say, the hardest part of doing a story is getting it done. Especially for us poverty scholars, because this trauma comes in, and then suddenly we can't keep writing, and the ADD, and all of the addictions, and the things that we may or may not should be doing, and then suddenly that story we're working on doesn't get done. And It's one of the things we actually talk about openly at Core Magazine as poverty journalists. And try to help each other and do writer facilitation and recognize that it's only linguistic domination. It is not your liberation, right? And they're words, and words are powerful, and they're also the colonizer's words. So that to say, her story that she finished that was kick-ass, which is in this little pamphlet you're seeing on the mural that the gentriFUKers, well, I don't want to, I know Ivy's in the room and she's part of that crew, but that's not because she's a gentriFUKer, she's badass. But the Clarion Alley hipster artist, yes, I did say it, that spent $30,000 a year art school, or maybe 90, you know, right, had us do a mural that we put our ancestors in, our love, our children, our folks, and then 6 months later they painted it over. No. Without telling us. Without telling us. Without telling us. Because that's what you do. You just have a new art all the time, and you know, everything is new. And I'm like, at the very minimum, ask so that we could have done a ceremony going out with that, right? Anyway, they did it. And there's no more for magazine mural. But that to say, Lori wrote a piece about that mural that is so beautiful. And it's coming out in the Poverty Scholarship textbook. This 2019, you all need to come to the opening. It's going to be at City Lights. It's going to be at San Francisco Main Library and a Fruitvale branch over here. Because her work, her finished, beautiful piece, starts out the art chapter in Poverty Scholarship, Poor People Led Theory, Art, Words, and Tears Across Mama Earth. The textbook that it's taken us 525 years, 60 years, and 21 years to write. And we've got it done finally. And my brother Leroy and I and all of us, Vivi T and Nandi and all of us are in there. And many more powerful folks like Karina and Fui and other folks. So get that book just enough it now, so it's going to be dedicated to Lori. So that said, please listen. And Tibu, you can help me. Eshuo elevarae, Eshuo elevarae, elevara mokurubare, elevarako. Second time. Eshuo elevarae, Eshuo elevarae, elevara mokurubare, elevarako. Last time, and it's for you, Lori. Eshuo elevarae, Eshuo elevarae, elevara mokurubare, elevarako. We love you, Lori! And thank you, everybody. We love you, too. You want to say your own prayer?